Hello and welcome back to episode 8 of our Timberborn Ironteeth Pressure playthrough. We are on the 1.0 experimental branch, struggling along on this diabolical map. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Glad to have you. Without further ado, let's get this started. Bad tide is approaching. One great suggestion. We had a couple suggestions on what to do with this hole. One of them was to put some dams around it to keep the water up here longer. That's definitely an option. I don't know. I don't think it would increase the lifespan of it a whole lot because we're basically just saving the evaporation of this small bit. So I think I'm going to shy away from that plan and instead get these pumps up on some platforms. That way they can pump regardless of whether or not this is full. They don't get flooded. And these are deep water pumps, so they can go down to a depth of 6. And if we put them on platforms, they will be at a depth of just, wow, if I can talk, just 3. So they should work just fine like that. So let's work on getting some platforms up here. We'll start with what we're gonna need. I think I'm gonna have it set up like that. And then I think I actually will get some mangroves going down here too. Now we're gonna keep working on our reservoir. I think this was just terrible scaffolding. We are gonna eventually go for that question mark, but I think we're gonna get a general just larger reservoir and then work on making the shape a little nicer later, and go for that question mark theme just because it sounded kind of fun. But yeah, first we're gonna just try to store more water. And yeah, if we get this up higher and then this up higher, that should do it. We got that bad tide approaching. No water is spilling over still, so that is wonderful. That's as we need it. Actually, we don't even have any more storage for water, it would appear. Maybe we can get another large tank going. Since this is where I'm going to largely be pumping from, I think I'm going to go... Maybe I do just put a large tank like right there. Nice and close to the water where it's going to be pumping from. Because this will, after these are on platforms, they will always be able to be pumped. As long as there's still water. Well, let's see. If that's going to be how our large tank is, actually, we're going to need some more like that. So these aren't being used right now for pretty obvious reasons. So let's go ahead and just set up how our pumps are going to look. Let's scroll down a layer and get rid of the paths here. Okay, we can go back up. And let's set the priority on those ones to the highest so that we can then build one of these. Let's see, 60 gears, we have it. 30 metal blocks, we have it. Perfect. We didn't get that done before the bad tide hit, but that's okay. We do have water, actually some water stored up in our reservoir this time. Last time we didn't have that. So we're making progress on that front. It would be, we actually are starting to go through our logs after we built that, that dam, that levee. Reservoir, there we go. That's the words I'm looking for. So I'm also going to get that going. This one can be put down back to normal priority, I think. And something like that. Some of these actually aren't 100% necessary, it looks like. These platforms. But if we're gonna put mangroves up here, around here, we can put some gatherer flags up here, and that should also help. And some storage for mangroves, maybe. All right, so not a super long bad tide, 12 days. That's doable. No problem there. I do think I want to. One of the things I was thinking of with this large map is normally I do like vertical tree farms and food farms. I think I'm going to try not to do any vertical farms on this one since we have so much area. I could still flatten stuff, but I don't think I want to stack them a whole lot. Just because it's so big, we have all of this room. Let's utilize it for the farms and just have that method. We should probably get another tree farm going. Did I hit record on the video? I did. I'm glad I hit record. So now it's a matter of deciding where I want the other tree farm. And I think we're just going to put one up here. It's already irrigated. I probably will put an irrigation pond up here as well for when it's not. But it's close to a two-way station. It's got a lot of the stuff that we already need. We're going to put that right there to be pretty centralized. And we'll kind of work on changing it up if we need to some. So with that, let's also mark where we're going to have some lumberjack flags. We're probably going to want like 5 of them. It's kind of a waste of the growing area to have a storage there, but actually we got one right there. That's not that far away. Actually, we don't want this one. We'll have it more centralized. Something like that. I don't care about these being built right now. This one I do. And we'll plant some oaks. Where was that range again? Right there. Actually, we don't need to get over to this anymore. So that can be deleted. Leave that little path up there. We'll leave this path just until we can collect these resources here. And then we'll go ahead and delete it. Okay. Just like that. Double check the range on this. It goes right to there. Okay. So right there. Something like this. I do think I want to get a little pine farm going as well, because we are going to need some pine resin here before too long. So I think right along there will be good for that. And then we can have our tapper shack over here. And let's go ahead and get some mangroves planted here. And then we'll unmark them for planting, and then they'll spread naturally from there. Yeah, that's So today we're gonna kind of multitask quite a bit. We're gonna get tree farms going. Okay, yeah, so this is already going down, so we are going to need an irrigation pond up here. We kind of knew that, so it shouldn't be a surprise. Let's actually make that. Let's get that going now. We're gonna delete that so that we can build our irrigation pond. So we're gonna delete those. Go to levees. And let's actually delete that. Maybe we don't need to. Yeah, we should clear some of those trees. Yeah, we don't need to do quite that many, though. All right, so let's see. 3. I'm just going to clear this out and kind of redo the area. 3 by 3 by 3, and then, okay, so it's those ones that need to go. Yeah, and then we can put that path in a little better spot in order to access up top. And we're going to put our forester up there, similar to how we did this. So let's go ahead and put all of that at top priority, actually, because I would like this tree farm going sooner rather than later. Forester can be there. Dump can be there. And we might be able to fit some lumberjacks up here, too. In fact, we definitely can. That probably wasn't the right word there. All right. Because this isn't going to be irrigated in the long run once we get like the rest of this set up. So we're going to need an irrigation pond up here anyway. It'll reach some of this, but I think this will be much better in the long run. All right. Ready for a few more levees. Looks like we could maybe use a few more cassavas planted. I mean, kohlrabis. We are also going to work on new food sources. Can't get all required materials. But did we pause our explosives factory? No. We're just out of bad water. We paused our bad water. We are short on labor some, so let's go ahead. Where is our builder's hut? Yeah, we're going to need to lower that. So I would rather have the hauling post have a little bit more. Okay, and this is ready for finishing. We'll set those at high priority again. And we'll set a fluid dump right there. Forester right there. And then we can fit some of our lumberjacks up here. Here, 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 and here. Actually, let's delete that. Let's have a path down on this other side to give those lumberjacks a little bit more range, because they can go either direction then. Something along those lines. Okay, it looks like being up there, we don't have quite as much range to the left here, so we're going to unplant some of these. Okay. And it looks like we actually don't have the range here as well. Again, I want this farm getting up and running a little faster. So we'll set those. I actually will pause these lumberjacks because we won't need them for 30 days until 30 days after the oaks start growing. Okay, we still have a little bit of water down here, and we can always access that by letting that out. Okay, you know what? We are full on water, and we're short on labor. Let's pause just a few of these pumps. I think that's a good idea. All right, so these mangroves are planted. Let's go ahead and clear them for planting, and then once they're fully grown, they'll start propagating and spreading out for us. All right, this is irrigated. The forester is built, so we can go ahead and add the logs, add the oaks that we plan on planting here. Go about, where was that line at? Right here, okay. Yeah, something like that. I don't think they'll be able to plant all of that, but that's okay. We don't need that guy anymore. Maybe we unpause one of these to get some of these pines cut down. Oh, it says that's too far from a district center. So let's go ahead and build this road out, path out here, have them collect those logs, and then we'll go ahead and delete that path again. Unconnected buildings. You're not connected? Oh, we're missing just one little thing there. Okay. Nice thing about this is anytime the beavers go over here, they're going to get the wet fur bonus as well. This still set to obtain. Now we don't need that to obtain anymore. In fact, I don't think we need this one at all, to be honest. We also don't need to get up top here. It'll take that forester a little while to get these oaks planted. That's to be expected. Go ahead and mark those oaks for cutting, though. And I'm not marking the pines over here. They're going to be for pine resin. All right. Ah, yes, there's overhangs above that preventing us from building more. Okay. That'll happen. Not terribly worried. You know, we're struggling to get bad water. Let's go ahead and pause this for now. Actually, we're struggling to get bad water where we need it is what it is. So we need it over here. Explosives. Do we not have... Oh, we are full on explosives. Oh, it wasn't even explosives that we can't get all the required materials. It's the extract. That makes sense. We actually have quite a few explosives. Let's pause that. Let's get this centrifuge going again. That was the problem. can go ahead and get rid of that path now that that debris is picked up. Debris or rubble? They call it rubble. Okay. Plant some more oaks. I actually want them to obtain water here now because I would like it to go here so they don't have to go as far, and for these people to drink, these beavers to drink. I am going to remake one more water pump here, I think, just for the time being. I know I just deleted them, but we have a little bit of water there, and it feels bad to me to not collect it. At least some of it. Okay, this has dried out. I was a little afraid of that, but once we have our reservoir working a little better, that should help with that. This is almost done, so we can almost raise this up. One thing I did note is we can honestly just have this whole side be part of our reservoir to start with. There'll be a lot more storage. We're going to want to get this down more. Long story short, above this whole area, we're probably going to build up really high and make some really high scaffolding to get this reservoir project properly done in the future. So I think we're going to build high scaffolding. But for now, I think we're going to just do what we can to store a little more water. We'll just have that set to accept. Hopefully this forester is working hard. It appears so. These don't need to be running. There's no water there. Soon the good water should be coming back. Yep, it's filling up. Good. You know, just to speed up this process for now, I think I'm going to plant another forester. Not plant, build another forester just to get those oaks built a little bit quicker. I think that'll be a good idea. So then we can start building the levees up here. You know what? Since they can already reach that, we don't even need to build that section. What? Why did they do need that section? Gosh darn it. Okay, I'm just making mistakes. It happens, especially with me. We'll build that real quick. Then they can build that real quick. Good news is our mangroves didn't die. They just started to dry out. And now we're no longer putting water over here. So we can pump this dry and then delete that. Yeah, no water is passing these dams. We had the shortest temperate cycle possible. Not super cool, but you know what? We'll survive. Not terribly worried right now. Our log supply is pretty low, actually. So that's a bit of a problem. Not a huge problem, but a little bit. These are not reachable. We'll fix that a little later. We're going to be building scaffolding up here this whole way, so that won't be a problem. I don't feel the need to turn on all of these other pumps. Maybe I'll turn on a couple. Actually, yeah, let's turn them on now to get as much of this temper cycle water stored up. I'd like to enter the bad tide with full water storage. We are running out of pods, though, so... I mean, beavers, so we might want to build more breeding pods, is what I was going to say. These small tanks don't do a whole lot for us currently. So let's put some more breeding pods. Just one for now, I think. Maybe two. And we'll see how that's doing. And we'll work. We got those pines planted to start the process of getting to the treated planks, which will allow us to build advanced breeding pods with the treated planks. We need the pine resin first, then we can get there. All right, so this water down here is dry, so this can be destroyed. We don't need that either. That was just our save the stupid beavers method. If that makes any amount of sense. Maybe, maybe not. Save the trapped beavers. Bad tide's coming. This still isn't full, which I guess is to be, you know, it's to be expected. We are pumping quite a bit. Let's go ahead. We're not building a whole lot, so let's, okay. Builder's hut's already not being used, basically. Probably don't need both of these lumber mills at this exact moment. Just trying to save a little bit of labor to pump a little bit more here. That can be paused. So yeah, all of the empty jobs are in the hauling post at the moment. Only half a day left, and it's after the working day, so we won't get any more pumping done, really, before the bad tide hits. And that's fine. We got quite a bit of it done. Quite a bit pumped out. No water went off the map. We were utilizing all of the good water. From those sources, anyway. There is good water coming from elsewhere. I just need to figure out where. Now it's going to be hard to figure out because... Aha, there they are. So there are some water sources over there that we could potentially start utilizing, as well as a seep. And I believe that seep is... Where is it? It's the seep over here. Right there. So we could also utilize that somehow. Obviously, during the bad tide, it becomes bad water, and it's a little bit more difficult because this is contaminating it as well. But we could definitely utilize that seep some if we needed more water. And since this didn't even fill up all the way, we might need more water flow. So that's something to consider as well. Not sure how I'll do that at the moment. Maybe kind of block off this and give a different escape path for the bad water. Block it off here and then give the good water a path from the seep to our reservoir system. Something like that, quite possibly. The seep only goes up to a height of 0.8, but if you have it, excuse me, hiccups a little bit. If you have it draining, like here, so like it'll keep falling, then it'll keep producing water. So if we can get this to the point where it will go down to here, then it'll keep adding water to our system. So yeah, that's a thought. At this point, we're going to shut off the extra pumps, the main level pumps, and we'll only have these 4 going. In fact, with how much water we have stored up, we might actually only have 2 of those going. We'll keep an eye on it. That'll free up some labor to get our other projects done. Not that we have a whole lot going on right now. So I think temporarily I'll build another steam engine right here. Then I can delete that one and get the rest of this leveled out without losing out on the power that we need. Okay, so we can delete that. We still do need a way for the power to reach over here, but I think we can just pause that for now and then work on leveling this out, and we can have a different strategy for getting it over there. All right. And that beaver is now trapped. Wonderful. No, they're not. Okay, so they somehow floated down. Oh, they have a path over here. Wonderful. All right, so we might need a little more scaffolding here, possibly. I think for these ones, yeah. Okay. Definitely doable. I think if we actually put it over, let's see. Actually, that should be fine. Right there. And then we don't need to do full-on platforms. We know we're not extending this, and I actually remember this time, bridges are cheaper and faster. That was another question. Why do I always have the last one be a metal overhang? Well, quite frankly, it's because I forget. Sometimes it's because maybe I don't know if that's going to be the end of the scaffolding, and maybe I'll want to extend it out in the future, so I keep it at metal overhang so I can add to it. Or if I am using tubeways on top of it. Bridges cannot have tubeways on top of them, so then they need to be the metal overhangs. In this case, neither of those situations apply. This will be the end of this scaffolding, and I'm not using tubeways on there, so they shall be bridges at the end. So we just need to do one of those. Let's pause one of these breeding. I don't want to get too crazy with the breeding pods. We'll pause one of them for now. We did plant 2 extra ones just now, so gotta keep that in mind. We're gonna need a gatherer for these mangrove fruits. And we're gonna want to find a spot to expand our next farm. It's a lot of bad water over there. Does bad water come up here? I want to say it does. No, If any water was coming up, it would be coming up right now. So this is just... I got a natural dam there. Interesting. I wonder if that got released with the some of the cores. I do think I want to kind of level this section out some. And that could be maybe where our next farm is. Or, gosh, that has a lot of bad water around it too. There's just bad water around so many areas. So we're going to have to tidy up the bad water, of course, at some point. And we will do that. That's just an expansive project. So it is a bad tide. So any flow that's going to happen is still happening. Good water is bad water currently, but we know where the water is flowing. So we know how it will react. That makes sense. Maybe we... Maybe we level out some more of this and just expand our current farms. I think that might be the play. We already have access to this area. So I think that would be a good plan. So let's just start right here. I'm not going to go beyond where our dam is. And actually, the hole for it is right there. So we will start right there. That will be the end. I don't know if that made sense. Probably not, because, you know, everything I say doesn't always make sense. All right, yeah, we'll start here. Something like that. Don't need to have it paused. This isn't like a really time-sensitive project at all. You know what? It's not going to go beyond there. So I can do a bridge. Look at me learning and stuff, huh? If I do it one here, then I can still put it to the side like I did over here, I guess. For the ladder. That's actually longer than necessary. I think we can get by with a 4. Yeah. This is longer than necessary, too. I'll be just fine there, too. One of these, one of these. One of these. Huh? That was built the wrong way. See right there. It's actually long enough. So that means this one could even be a bridge. You're going to move where they get up there from to over there, and then I can continue building more scaffolding here without issue. Without much issue anyway, because how did it actually do that then? Okay, fine. We'll do it this way. Kind of not the smartest way to do it, probably, but oh well. I don't think we need to get up here. We'll have scaffolding redone for that whole section when the time comes. We should probably empty this. Okay, it's already empty. Let's get rid of this path. No need for that path. And no need for that path. Okay, so now that method won't really work there. On second thought. Or will that? Oh, that's got to be highest priority then, so those beavers can get down. My bad. You're free. Move. You know, it's just to make this part a little simpler, I'm going to place a single dynamite there. And we'll keep going on that scaffolding. That's enough for them to stay busy for a while. Have this at the lowest. Okay. Doing pretty good on water still. Keeping this irrigated. Okay, so this is done now. What if we just open up this? Will that make this rise much? It depends where the water was over here, because it's gonna basically drain from here till this is level. Yeah, it's already there. So we did not store up all that much water, and our mangroves are in danger because of that. You can see some of these mangroves are already spreading, so that's good to see. Yeah, we're really gonna need more water. Figure out how to divert something over there. Let's look at where that other good water source is again. I think it's way the heck over here though, isn't it? Yeah, way over there. That is hard to utilize at the moment. Is there any others hiding down here? I don't believe so. Okay, so I think we're going to want to utilize that seep in some way, shape, or form because we need a little bit more water. We really do. So I think the first step is let's place a two-way station over here. And we can access this, and I'm going to change where the water, this bad water gets diverted. So I'm going to have it go off the map. Probably like that. No, I don't like that. That's a little bit too close to that for comfort. Let's make sure it can't get there. Let's just make it deeper right away too. Something like that. I think 2 is actually enough, so let me just think about this for a second. I know. Me thinking, always a scary thought. I get it. I don't think we're going to be up here long enough to warrant two-way scaffolding. So we'll just do that. And it looks like we do need a little bit further. That'll be good. Something like that, perhaps. You just check where that is. Okay. Yep, that should be able to reach all of that. You want this slightly higher than the farm leveling project. And I put it at lower, but I wanted it higher. Exact opposite of what I intended to do there. So let's do that. We could use a small tank, small warehouse, and small industrial pile. And we'll go logs, obtain, explosives, obtain, and extract, obtain. We'll set those three at the highest priority. Actually, we're going to need, for the scaffolding, some metal blocks over here. I don't know how much more I'm going to do over here, but I'm going to get some more materials over here, like the planks and the metal blocks. So we're going to try to redivert this and then block it off here and then work on getting this seep to contribute to our reservoir. That's going to be the goal. I mean, really, even if we just use the seep for additional pumping, so we had to pump less out of this, that would also be helpful. I think if we just put 2 there as well, it'll be good to go. Looks like we do need the path up here, though. Okay. Set that to prioritize by haulers. We can hopefully get some of those materials over there. We seem to have both of our gear workshops paused at the moment. I don't particularly like that. This is ready to blow up. Excellent. So now we can, I do think I actually want to get, I know it'll take away a little bit of our farmland, but I think I will expand it over here too. Right now we need to get power over here. That shouldn't be too terribly hard. We just need to go to power. Not that one, actually. We want a vertical one. Vertical here, vertical there. 2 platforms. And the power shafts like so. That is kind of ugly. I don't particularly like how that turned out. Can't remember. I know on the food factory you can put a power shaft on the upper layer. It doesn't look like it connects on the centrifuge. So maybe if I build food factories across from each other. Yeah, I like that idea. Build food factories across from each other. We're going to want 2 anyway. And then we can just have 1 platform connecting 1 platform and the power shaft and then it gets it across the road, the path, just like that, and then it will give it to that. Because food factories are tall enough that you can connect the power on the second level, they actually work great for helping facilitate power across pathways. Building lacks workers. Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right, let's see what this looks like when we explode it. Pretty much exactly what we wanted. We can delete this now. And that. And we can actually just build a little bridge across here. And then work on how we are going to divert things. And I think we're going to do it like that. But to speed up that process, we just put a bridge alongside it. That will speed up the levees quite a bit. Actually, I think I'm just going to adjust this and kind of get rid of that little bit. So I'm going to do one of these as well. Then this doesn't need to be there. And we can do that. Prioritize those bridges. I mean, we could just cut it off right here to make it faster to keep this water pure, but it's not a huge deal either. This is kind of how I want it so that we can use this space to funnel the water in. If I look at the heights that this is at, this is higher than this, so we can make that work. Honestly, I might blow this up and use that to funnel it down here. Actually, I think there's a good possibility of that. We're not really using these storages. Let's get rid of them. And let's start making our levees that are going to connect our seep to the rest. So it's going to go like that. And then it's just going to be like so. Followed by doubles going this way. And we'll just need to block this off, and then this seep should now drain that way. It's not going to add a whole lot of water because they aren't a very strong source, limited water pressure. But it is going to add some water to our system. All right, we can recoup those planks and materials for that. Over here, however, we need to get here still. So I think we're going to go something like this for now. Yes. Now I'm kind of going every which direction with this episode, but you know, there's a lot that I wanted to get done and a lot that we're working on. We are getting it accomplished, so we're getting some stuff done anyway. Okay, yeah, these don't have a recipe yet. Those food factories, because we don't have the food to put in them quite yet. So I'm gonna pause them. But after we get this expansion done, why isn't that connected? Oh, I'm missing a path right there. I'll plant some corn over here. Okay, we do have water flowing that way. And that's not good. That means we are... Wait a minute, what's going on here? Are these just set to open? No. Oh! This is still open. Okay, so we missed that in the temperate cycle. Let's turn on these pumps, get as much water pumping as possible. This is actually not good at all that happened. We were too distracted at the start of this temperate cycle. Yeah, we weren't filling this up at all. It was just pumping here and then flowing off the map. That's not great. Okay, drought's approaching. So we have 3 days to kind of remedy our mistakes a bit. By repumping and getting the water to fill up that. So we are going to set all of these at the highest priorities. Because I would like this seep to contribute some if we can make it happen. That's a weird angle I chose to do that in. Okay, there we go. All right. Yes, yes, too far away at the moment. We are short on labor. See, what don't we need right now? We don't need extract particularly. We still have enough explosives. Shoot. We do need a lumberjack over here, though. We don't need this anymore at all, actually. We can maybe pause that. We're just short labor at the moment. So I want more builders to finish these projects. Yet the haulers are necessary. Actually, let's just take 2 more haulers away and get 2 more builders. I think that might be a good balance for what we're trying to accomplish here. We also need as much pumping as possible. So no water is getting through this anymore. Because that is at a 0.44 and this only passes at 0.65. Can even pause this gatherer for now. Get a few more labor going. Let's go below this and see what's going on. Something like that. Can actually blow this up now. Not quite this, though. And these can be deleted. We don't even need those that we tried to build there. No, we don't need these three even. And if we get that going, it's going to start transferring some water over there. We'll widen it here, but we're adding water to the system through this seep. We are going to need to figure out what we're going to do for a bad tide. And I think it's going to be pretty simple, actually. We're just going to have this be a sluice, and then we'll put a sluice up here, too. So something like sluice, and we'll say can't go over there when it's bad water. And same for over here. Lows below contamination of 0. No. Yes. So only open at 0. Close above contamination of 0. And if we just build that right there, that will allow us to build that last section. Okay. Drought has started. Holy buckets, it's a long drought, ladies and gentlemen. That's not going to be great. Hey, this has some pine resin. Let's unlock that tapper shack. Right there, and pine resin goes in, I believe, warehouses. Yep. Yeah, I do think we don't need all of the pumps going anymore. We'll just have these 4 for now. Any of those mangroves have fruits? Not quite yet. Okay, but this system is done. So that's going to let that seep contribute to our water. Now, it's not a lot of flow, but, you know, every little bit helping fill this up is going to help. I'm a little nervous for this drought. I really am. Let's see. We got about 70 beavers. So 70 beavers times 2 times 28. 3.9. Okay. So after we pump some more, 3.9K, we might be okay. I do think our mangroves might be in a bit of trouble, though. I think that is a distinct possibility. Probably want to turn this back on. Probably that too. Also, how's our scrap supplies doing? Where is our scrap? There it is. It's getting smaller. Definitely is. We're doing okay for now, but it is getting smaller for sure. We'll probably open up that hauling post a little bit more again. What's the supply here? Good. Building lacks workers. Okay, sure. Yeah, we have more scavengers than we probably need. Let's pause them. Yeah, we got our lumberjacks over here doing stuff. That's full. So let's actually set this to supply and prioritize by hauler so we can empty that so that these lumberjacks don't need to go as far to empty their wood or store their wood. Let's see. We can go ahead and keep deleting this a little bit, step by step, so that they can still collect the resources over there. And after this bad water here evaporates, we can go ahead and delete these levees and recover some of those supplies as well. Okay, they picked up that rubble, so we can go like that. Or here they picked up that one. We can go like that. And as soon as they grab it, good. I think we can do both of those, yeah, because they can reach from over here. Excellent. I'm going to turn just a few of these pumps back on, because I do want to store up a little bit more water than what we have and not let it evaporate. Yeah, leaving that open for that temper cycle really messed with us, actually. That wasn't good. No, yeah, let's turn some more of these on. We're not doing any expansive building projects at this exact moment. Are these too far apart? Yep. Nobody decided to call me out on that? Not that you had a chance to. Okay, so it's actually supposed to be like this. Okay. Still don't have a way up there, do we? Let's see what we can do here, though. Is that too close? That one is too close, isn't it? It's possibly longer than we need. But if we do something like this, then they can get up on both of those. Right, right. We're just building a little bit of scaffolding here to level this out. Because especially when leveling areas out, scaffolding is really nice because you're blowing up what used to be your way to get there. I do believe we're done with this scaffolding, though. I'll get us some resources back. Wait a minute. Okay, there are my berries. Okay, I was freaking out that maybe I didn't have berries left, that they somehow got deleted. But no, we're doing good. We're doing good. With that gatherer there, I think I'll also plant a little bit of coffee around here somewhere. Oh, we gotta turn that back on to plant these oaks again. So one thing I didn't get going really on this round is this episode that I was hoping to get going. Oh, that's not a good place for those coffee beans. Let's see. This can only reach over there. That kind of stinks. Wasn't there another gatherer? Okay, this gatherer flake could reach over here. This one can actually reach over here. Okay, so I think I'm going to put the coffee beans over here, actually. Yes. I didn't get a whole bunch of other food sources going. I did get mint grows planted at least, so that's getting some other food sources started. We did clean up our reservoir a decent amount. Actually, if we're hurting on wood, we could actually delete all of these levees and just have this whole area collect that water. It's going to lead to a lot more evaporation, but it's still just more water stored. That math might not be in my favor actually to do that at this point, until that's deeper at least. Are these not marked for cutting? They are. There's just a lot of trees there, I guess, huh? A lot of trees for those lumberjacks to work on. Don't think I need metal blocks up here anymore. Or planks at the moment. And if I do, I can rebuild them. But for now, there will be extra lumberjacks because this is a lot of logs up here. Also probably... Oh, that doesn't get irrigated from over here, it would seem. Okay. We're also going to want more storage for logs. So we're going to make that happen. This is where a lot of our logs are. So having the storage over here makes sense. Go ahead and delete those and put another log storage. We can put another one right there. So this is a big tree farm for us. So having the storage nearby there definitely does make sense. So we can set that to logs and then use V as our copy button. And then just copy the settings over. That is a new feature in 1.0 that I really like, is being able to copy settings of warehouses. I believe you can actually copy settings of production buildings too. Like if I set this to corn, I could hit this and then copy that, and now it's at corn. Yep. Excellent. Very good. Yeah, this is pretty far away. We don't have a tubeway up there. I mean, I guess we could connect that one. It's just, we won't be using that area much longer. Actually, what's really slowing it down is we have no materials anywhere nearby. That is the problem. Let's fix that problem, shall we? So we need logs. We need planks. We need metal blocks. All set to obtain. And let's set those at high priority, and that will get the building materials that we need over here much closer. We're also going to want some extract and some dynamite, explosives, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Probably don't need this on obtain. I don't know if we'll be doing any more in that area at the moment, but we can ease up on it at least. I don't need this either. In fact, 100% don't. We'll just set it to accept so that they can move it if there's any place that has it set to obtain. We are lacking workers. Okay, this has dried out. Let's go ahead and try to open this up and see what happens. I don't think it's going to do a whole lot of good for us. Depends how high the water is over there. Yeah. These mangroves are pretty much dead unless we splash them with water. With a fluid dump. I mean, I guess that's an option. Before I forget though, I am going to put this back to auto. So these ones now do nothing. Or these. Okay. You know what? It might be worth splash. I'm going to try to give these guys a splash. I'm going to delete this one and put in a fluid dump there instead. See if we can use that to save the mangroves. Set that at highest of priorities though. Because yeah, if they die in 13 days and we only got an 18-day drought, if we extend that, we might be able to make it work. There's that hauling post. Okay, we do have it set to 10. Okay, we're actually doing better on the labor shortages now. Yeah, let's see where we can get that water to splash. I'm worried it'll hit this hole before it gets all of these, though. But we can try. This obviously is just sending some of our water to evaporate. But that's the sacrifice I'm making in order to have these mangroves live. You know what? With this... Where's that other gatherer? Okay, with this gatherer here, we don't actually need this one yet. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's flowing into... No, it's not flowing into there yet. We just need to dump more. Might not be enough. Let's... Oh. That's very close to enough. Just, what, 3 mangrove fruit trees not splashed yet? Get enough water dumped in there. Let's just get those 3 last ones wet. Come on. Oh, man. Well, we can... but there's already a mangrove right there. Next working day. Let's even prioritize that by haulers for now. See if we can just get a little bit more water to spread it out. Come on. That one hit. Are we draining down? Now we're draining here, though, so it will not reach those ones. Actually, after it touched here, it kind of missed all of them. Okay, so a couple of those will die. It is what it is. Ooh, actually, these don't have as much to live as I thought. Let's actually see if we can chop this one down. If any lumberjack is in the range of that. Surprised that one's... Okay, they are. But making it specifically chop that one is tough. Let's just... It's 2 logs only. Just do that. Set it at high priority. And then we'll build another fluid dump right here. See if we can give these other ones another splash and give these ones that didn't get any splash that other time a splash. Some of these oaks might actually not make it either. It's gonna be close. Works at fluid dump. Why are you carrying a log if you're working at the fluid dump? You must have. You were a hauler, I bet, and or a builder before you were working at the fluid dump. What in the heck? Whatever. We'll wait till the next working day, I guess. After I give these mangroves a last splash of water, we'll probably end the episode there. We are over that hour mark. Oh, and that gives those oaks a second chance there too, so that's wonderful. Let's also put the other one that we had here. That way we know we can give them all a healthy little drink of water. But once the water hits here, it'll drain from here. Some of those might actually be okay. Not this one, though. That one's not okay. Okay, the water hit there. Everything got a splash, though. We're golden. All right. So, we did get some stuff done today. One of the major accomplishments we got is we got this water seep contributing to our reservoir. We flattened some ground. What else did we accomplish? I know we accomplished. We got this other tree farm going. That was a big one. That was a big one. We can honestly, with that tree farm, probably transition this to mostly food. I think that would be helpful because this is more trees than we had planted in this whole other area. I'm pretty sure. We also have pine resin now, so that's great news. We can get a log treatment, what's it called? Wood workshop for the treated logs going, and that will open up some more possibilities for us. So we did accomplish quite a bit. We got some scaffolding ready to level this out to expand our farm some more. Yeah, I'm happy with the progress today. Hope you guys are enjoying the playthrough. If you watched this whole video, I assume you liked it, so smack that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Comment, let me know how you think I'm doing. That was not a good sentence. So even critique my English, whatever you want to do. Just I like hearing from you guys, and I will see you next time.